What's up, everyone? This is the Raw Truth coming back with part 2 about this snow bunny bitch. This bitch ass teacher. Just see the picture that they have of her. Wow. I'm looking at the picture. She looked like nobody tried to talk to her and shit. So she probably was lonely and seen a child that she took a fond favor of. Don't get me wrong, I had crushes on school teachers. Don't get me wrong. Some of these school teachers are fucking dynamite. You know what I'm saying? They come in and they smell real good and stuff. And some of their outfits and shit that they wear and stuff. And you know, you're looking as a child, and you know, it's going to sooner or later register that, hey, that women are attractive and stuff. But there's a line that you can't cross over. You know, look but don't touch. You know, tame that self. Motherfuckers ain't taming shit. That's what the fuck is wrong. Motherfuckers can't tame that shit. You know, and here we supposed to be adults. She's supposed to be an adult and set an example. And this motherfucker, she set an example, all right. She set an example that bashed and trashed every one of you damn women. That's why I can't stand when women complain about men, but yet women like this is encouraging little boys to grow up to be men that you complain about. What kind of sense does that fucking make? What kind of sense does that fucking make? Make that make sense to me. It says in April through June of 2016 school year, the defendant, Luckey, created a private Twitter account with victim number 1. Because he's a teen, his name is not going to be mentioned and stuff because, you know, you got to protect the teen. Now, had he committed murder, they will charge him as an adult. Then you'll know his name. But he's a teen, he's a victim. And it says so she could privately converse directly with him. Prosecutor said in a statement, during this time period, the conversation between victim number 1 and the defendant turned sexual in nature. And you have to understand, I'm so sick and tired of these motherfuckers thinking that because a woman is doing that she has mental issues. I want you to understand, in order for you to have mental issues, to not think right, one thing that blows it out of the water is, why did she get a private account? She wanted to hide. So wanting to hide something means that she knew what she was doing was fucking wrong. So don't hand me that mental issues. Don't hand me that making excuses for her. I ain't going for it. I ain't buying that. She texts shit inappropriately. She sent partially nude pictures of herself. She sent nude pictures of herself. Set up a private Twitter where only her and the victim can only conversate because she didn't want it public. She didn't want it public. Well, you could say local. She didn't want it public. So she did all of that fucking planning. Don't hand me that shit that this motherfucker didn't know what the fuck she was doing, that she had mental illness, that she was suffering from a disease and she couldn't think straight. Because if she couldn't think straight, how could she went through all of this shit to cover up her shit? You don't hear me now. Then it says, in addition to the sexual pictures and video, prosecutor said, and you have to understand too, and a lot of states, when an adult send nude pictures of themselves or partially nude pictures of themselves, that's a felony. That's a felony. We know that because in the show To Catch a Predator, like I was explaining to y'all about the show To Catch a Predator, a lot of men who sent sexually explicit photos to someone that they perceived was a child, but it was an undercover sting actor or actress on perverted justice, and they were sending pictures of their dicks. They were sending other pictures of them sucking dick. They were sending pictures of them jacking off. They were sending videos masturbating and coming and stuff. They send all kind of videos and stuff. And Chris Hansen himself said areas like Texas, Florida and that, whenever you send photos like that to a child or to a teen, when you send photos like that, that's an automatic felony. So I'm going to start again. It says, in addition to the sexual pictures and video, prosecutors said the victim disclosed that the defendant and he would kiss in her classroom after school. That's why it's unlawful touching that it was talking about when it says she is charged with unlawful contact with minors and corruption of minors. They were kissing. Told you, they were kissing. They were tongue kissing, you know, groping each other. He probably got to suck a titty, and she probably got to suck his dick. Who knows? But it said that they were kissing. So we know it's documented that they were kissing in their classroom after school. I'm outside broadcasting this, you know, so you may hear some noise in the background. But it says, Luckey never denied the allegation after police interviewed her. Prosecutor said she couldn't deny it because she did it. Then it says, the Muhlenberg Township School District did not immediately respond to a request for comment. That part right there ticked me off. It says the Muhlenberg Township School District did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Well, in a way, it shouldn't tick me off because, you know, everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty. So they were probably thinking to themselves, well, hey, if we have to understand and investigate in ourselves to make sure that all this shit was actually absolutely true. Because a lot of times, you know, when something comes up and it hits us, probably in shock, and we probably had to see it for ourselves to believe it, because she was probably one of those model teacher, and that's probably why they hired her. So I can see, you know, but the raw truth can be wrong. Then it says, there was no information as to whether she had obtained a lawyer who could comment after the charges on her behalf. So let's look at this for an example. For an example, you're going to have to watch your kids, any children, on the internet. You should have a password. You should have filters on the computers and shit, because no telling what your child could be up to. You should be monitoring them. Not only that, you gotta constantly question your children. Hey, what went on in school? Tell me everything. You know, talk to me, speak to me. You know, if anybody touched you there, have anybody did this, you gotta constantly ask your children. You know, I'm not talking about every single day, but put it in the seeds, put it in the mind of children and let them know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. A lot of times, you know, we in America allow our TV to raise our children. We give them Xbox, we give them all that they want, but we don't give them the education at home to help protect them. And this went on for a while. No telling what happened to that teen. And like I said, I know that there's some dumb motherfuckers who's probably giving them dap, talking about a nice job. Yeah, look at you, you had a teacher, man, you lucky. That's not lucky. There is a reason why you don't see women showing up on shows like To Catch a Predator. You wouldn't see that because they have access to your children through schools, whether it's elementary or high school, or some will have middle school, or they have access to your child through daycare, through the church. So women have always had access to our children more than what we can. So therefore they have more of a variety of more of children to go after. So they don't need no stinking line like the men do in the Catch a Predator when they are constantly busted in the sting. They don't need that line. They already have their line. They see the children publicly. So therefore they're more of a greater threat than these men. Even though these men drove 300 and something miles, some has taken a bus, some has walked and shit like that. But these women, all they got to do is show up at a job that has children and they on the prey. So you have to understand that we may get mad at the men who does shit like this, but it's also the women too. And like I always say, you know, like I said earlier, a lot of times women, when you complain about men who is viewing y'all as a sex object, when you complain about men bashing y'all, when you complain about men, when you walking down the street, they eyeing you up, why don't you look at and investigate how they got that way? You know, what happened in their past to make them think that you are a sex object? Because a lot of times we always investigate little girls. We always investigate that, and we make excuses, you know, of why when she's an adult she does what she does. But we don't do that to little boys. We automatically assume that as soon as little boys come out the pussy of their mothers, come out the womb of their mothers, that they come out and should know better. No, the boys and girls need to be taught how to be better. And if you're not concerned about the little boys being taught how to be better, then you by default shut the fuck up, because you have no fucking say or anything over a young man now of what he does, because you're not concerned. So if you're not concerned what he's done, how he was raised, then you shouldn't be concerned about his action, because his action is more likely is based on how he was raised. What did he see? Did he see whores? Did he see women always flashing him and shit? You know, all of this is training him. They said a picture's worth 1,000 words. If that's the case, by logic, whenever those new pictures was shown, that was shown to that teen by that so-called adult, the one who was supposed to be leading by an example, when she showed that new pictures to the teen, or partially new pictures and sex videos to that teen, he was trained. He was trained. And those are the same motherfuckers out in the street talking about, oh, let me hit that, because they're psychologically damaged. And the fact is, y'all don't think little boys can be damaged, because y'all so in love with seeing little girls being damaged to make excuses for them when nobody feels sorry for our little boys. I mean, this is sickness. This is double standards, and this is something that we all need to take a look at. Oh, we need men to stand up and be men. We need men to take their place. And meanwhile, hey, and this is the white community. This is nothing to do with the black community. But in a way it does, because I take other stories that other nations has done, because, you know, we black people supposed to be committing more crime than anybody. What a fucking joke, because I'm going to dismantle that in later videos. But I take what other nations do and I edify my people, you know, what they need to be doing. Stop thinking that buying your sons Jordans, letting your son be the man of the house. No, you got to teach your sons, you know, what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. and that they're being raised by single mothers, then they're going to see whoredom as appropriate, because 84% of black women have children already, and 64% have 2 or more children by 2 or more different men. So look at all this shit that's happening to our boys and our own black community. They're being trained that being whores is okay, for them to chase whores, and then these same black women talking about, well, we need men to take their rightful place, and men should stop thinking with their dicks whenever you whores mothers taught your child that. You don't think it's strange that your children know what the fuck you doing? You think you could sit up there and hide every kind of behavior that you do, and your children ain't going to pick that up? No, your children are going to pick that up. So many times your children could be by the door when you're being screwed by a man. Then another man comes in that next week and getting screwed by him. So your son thinking that he's going to have to screw so many different women, and your little daughter, what is she going to think? She has to be screwed by so many different men. Then we wonder why we have so much shit in our community, because evil and wickedness is being nourished. Not the good, but we want to have good children being nourished in an environment that's bad. Any child that do turn out good should get a medal. Any child that goes out there and was raised from an area where whoredom is very, very severe epidemic should get a medal if he don't become a whore. We all need to learn from this story. We all need to wake up and look at this story and say, look, we got to get concerned about our little boys. But you know what we don't, because we always pump the little boys up and talk about, oh, he's going to be a ladies' man. So we always think that he's going to be a whore. Well, he's going to be a ladies' man. That means all ladies is going to chase him, and he's going to have his field day with ladies. So therefore, we have made it okay for little boys to be whores. Folks, wake the fuck up. Let me know how y'all feel about this, because I'm sick to my stomach with this story. Because that's a little boy that's going to need counseling. That's a little boy that's going to need to be worked on, so he won't become a liability. Because what this fucking teacher did is created a liability nurturing in him. She stripped him of his innocence. When you strip somebody of their innocence, we always thinking about we strip them of their pureness. But go deeper. That pureness is their actions of being an asset to the community. That little boy probably wanted to grow up to be a doctor, and now a teacher did this, and now he want to bang. He probably want to bang every girl, every woman that he sees. The way we treat our children and the actions that we do around our children can also and will more likely nurture our children and train them how to act, whether it's good or bad. Whether it's good or bad doesn't matter, because good and evil is in all of us. Which one are you going to nourish out? And that's something you gotta fucking understand. Wake the fuck up and understand. Let me know how you feel. You know, let me know if you think I'm wrong. You know, send your message, your hate mail. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Till then, I'm the raw truth. Peace.